Hi, welcome back. My name is David Blissett and this is my game development log for the zombie design that I've been doing. It's update number 4 covering the work that was carried out in May 2020. Right, so what were we up to the past couple of weeks? We've primarily been looking on Substance Painter and Character Creator, doing some exploration work on that, being a new bit of kit for what I'm doing. And right now we're going to be stepping through firstly Trello, which is what I use for my agile development. Okay, fair enough. Character design, maybe not so much driven by agile, but I'm doing development, and it's handy to have screenshots and take notes so you can actually see your progress and how you're moving through. So here you got the Character Creator, some of the screenshots that I've taken highlighting the workflow. So like right now you're looking at the teeth, and this is, you're not using regular geometry, you're using the optimized game development geometry that the tool can generate for you. We're looking at the level of detail. So let's say, for example, if you've got a character with 30,000 polygons and it's way out in the distance, you don't want to be showing all that. So you can generate various levels of detail. So the further you are, the less detail that you pass through the engine to process, and the nearer you are, then the more geometry you want to be able to preview or at least show to the user. And here's a shot of us in Maya. We're going to go into that in a second. And right now, this specific shot is showing that even though you've gone ahead and designed the entire character, you're only showing or keeping the geometry that you need to be able to preview. And again, these are all optimization steps that you take primarily for game development. Here we have a rough preview of the design for the zombie textures, showing like the burnt flesh and things like that. But again, only using Trello to be able to keep progress or keep an understanding of the progress that we've been making as we're going. So right now we're going to be going into a series of time-lapse footage because there's a lot to get through. So this is being processed at maybe 3 times normal speed, just so that we can actually get through to the end in a shorter period than we normally do. So I'm looking at the characters. Say for example, this is the jeans geometry that we're highlighting, and we can see that in terms of number of polygons, it's roughly about 2,000, and each polygon is split down the middle, so that's going to double the polygon count, and we're counting in triangles at that stage, right? So 4,000 triangles for just the jeans. That's half my polygon budget for the entire character. So I'm just trying to kind of cut down and see what kind of fidelity we're able to keep, lose, give up, what's the impact. And the real thing that we like about this tool, being Character Creator, is that they built in this feature so that you can do the polygon reduction and real time be able to get visibility of what the impact of your changes are. It's incredibly handy. Normally you'd go into a tool like, I don't know, ZBrush, and you do some kind of Z remesher, and that still has its benefits. But by being able to highlight the part of the geometry that you're trying to optimize and try to find that polygon count and get the feedback real time, that's really, really, really handy. So here is the end result of a specific pass of getting that geometry out into Maya, Autodesk Maya, which again is another tool in the pipeline, and just be able to kind of sense check again the polygon count. So this is not the production ready version. This is more just trying to get a feel for what Character Creator can do for us in terms of being able to generate the geometry and then get that familiarity. So then the more you do it, the better the outcome should be. So rather than heading over to texturing, took a sidestep and got the character pushed across into Unity. And right now we're just testing out the rig, making sure that all the geometry conforms correctly to the various morph targets that have been brought in. And again, that's semi-auto generated, right? So the rig that's been generated by Character Creator. And even right now, doing a bit of preview around the actual animation itself. So I did a lot of this pre-production work and had targeted originally Mixamo and Fuse because, hey, those tools, they were free and they did work. And that work I carried out maybe about a year ago. And the only reason for taking a sidestep and coming back and using a new tool in production, hint, why did you do that? Was because I'd be able to get a lot more characters generated from Character Creator that were different to what was freely available coming through from Mixamo and that specific offering. So right now we're pushing over into Substance Painter. So this is where we're going to start doing the texture work. As you can see, what we're looking at here now is just trying to find my feet as far as the tool is concerned. It's not every day you design a zombie, and it's not like a book's been written on exactly what a zombie looks like. So here we got a whole bunch of veins and moles being generated all over the body of the actual geometry. And notice there's no clothes on the character at the moment. This is just the base mesh for the body for the zombie. Just trying different techniques, trying to figure out what works. And once visually you get something that works, you've hit your target. So there's a lot of experimentation going on, having fun with it. But still not quite there. You're not going to have this bloody creature running around a level like it's lost its skin. But I'm still pushing, still trying to find something that works or could work. Again, they got to think about what the environment lighting might be like in the actual game itself. Will I actually be able to see all these details? Is it going to be a well-lit environment, or is it going to be a lot of shadows? And if you have, dark character in shadows, you might not be able to see all this detail that you're putting in on the actual character itself. But so we have some burnt flesh going on. I just downloaded some of these substance generators coming in from Substance Shear, which has been taken over. So Substance Painter, the whole Substance algorithmic suite, was purchased by Adobe about a year ago now. Showing the age, how long we've been looking at this. And so, I was able to get myself a really nice substance that's helping out with this burnt flesh regeneration. So, kind of happy with what we've got as far as the underlying flesh is concerned. Kind of weird talking about all that. And right now we've now brought in the geometry for the clothes for this specific character. And again, it's trying to just, get a feel for what would happen to a zombie. So he's wearing this nice John Travolta shirt, as you can see, and we're going to put blood all over this thing. A lot of common sense needs to go out the window the second you start thinking about doing stuff like this, because it's not like a book that you can read on. This is exactly what zombies look like, right? So you probably head over to Netflix and load up a couple of flicks that show a zombie, and kind of get a feel for what they look like. Also, played a couple of games, zombie games, and again, what do zombies look like? They have a lot of dirt, grime, and blood over them. More blood, mainly about the mouth and the hands and things like that. But again, when somebody's playing a game, they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about how to pass through a level. and enjoy the experience of the game. So the less that they have to call out to say something's wrong, the more likely you've hit the target. You don't want them to be criticizing or trying to interpret what you've done. It should be, there's a character in front of me and I need to blow its brains out, right? So again, a lot of exploration with the tools. Right now we're resurrecting some of the knowledge from previous years as far as Substance Paint is concerned, and then trying to figure out this workflow. So you've already got the textures for a clean cut character within Character Creator, right? It hasn't got any of this blood artifacts on it, but you're happy with the core materials or color information that's been generated for that character created content. And so all I'm doing is I'm taking that out and bring it in Substance Painter so I can then reuse that data. So here you're seeing the genes. I'm bringing in those textures, and now I'm going to augment what's there. So this is one of the benefits of this workflow, and why it is that I chose Character Creator. So instead of going and getting some third parties character and then manually having to extract the libraries or the materials and then figure out how I'm going to change them and bring them through that pipeline, it's almost like Character Creator is a member of my team, and I'm just being able to just export the content that has been generated. Okay, fair enough. I myself am building the zombie there, but like adding the clothes or buying costumes and then applying it to the character, it means then that within a indie game environment, you're able to operate at a more optimized level and make a lot more progress than you would have normally done in a traditional environment if you're, say, not using Substance Painter but going into Photoshop and having to build your character from scratch, having to rig your character from scratch, meaning add the bones to the character, so on and so forth. So again, as you can see here, a lot of this is kind of common sense. If you know how to use the tools, you can get a lot done in a very short space of time. I've not had to be spending a lot of time with Substance Painter for quite some time, but you have to remember the pipeline within game development, everything from design through to texturing, painting, actually bringing that character to life, and then bringing it into the tool. So the target here now is not going to be Substance Painter. The target's going to be the game engine, right? But you still have to do these steps in order to be able to utilize the benefit and be able to get it within the tool, so that whatever that you're going to be doing, whether it be animation or shooting, what have you, it actually works. All right, so here again, this is one of the final bits of polishing that we need to do, which is going to be the boots for the character. A lot of this stuff the end user is not going to really see, because again, I think the lighting, we're probably going to have a lot of dark lighting in there, but in order to pass this and give it a tick list so that it can actually go into production, you need to go through these steps. So right now I'm just like previewing it. Does it look enough? All right, do I need to do anything additional, or do I move on to next character? And that's a zombie, right? So relatively happy with that. We've got some glow going on with the eye with some post-processing within Substance Painter. I'm going to be doing the exact same thing within Character Creator, and then I'm also going to do the same thing again within Unity. This is the nature of the work. It's been a very fun month, having to go through all these steps and actually realize the zombie, right? So I'm very happy with what I've got here. Whether or not it's in this format is a whole nother thing. So we've augmented the base textures, and now I need to get some physically based rendering, PBR, textures generated. So We're selecting the export format, making sure we've got emissive on there because we've got the glow on the eyes. And then now we're going to be exporting this content for the materials that we've augmented, and then get that back loaded into Character Creator, just to make sure that, you know, I have it in a state that I can readily open it from the file system and preview it if I need to. I don't have to go back into Character Creator now, because Substance Painter is going to be able to generate the textures that I need in an augmented format, so that I can actually use them in a game engine like Unreal Engine or Unity. But again, because Substance Creator is part of the pipeline, it'll always be nice to have the zombies or whatever characters or any other 3D models that I need ready to be able to preview and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, how do I get it to preview it outside the game engine? So these are the materials. You know, it looks quite abstract, but this is the materials as they are on the 3D geometry. And here we are now back in Character Creator, and we're going to upload everything, all those textures, and this is what we've got. The final character loaded with a pose for preview, right? So if I had a technical director there or a member of the team that wanted to be able to see the character outside the game engine, they could. So that's it for this month. A very interesting period. Again, I'd like to thank you for watching. If you're interested in what I'm doing, you want to see more, head over to David Blissett at YouTube. I'll be uploading content probably a bit less in the next couple of weeks because of the NDA. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.